Good morning. It is 11:30 on a Tuesday, and that means it is time for First Chapter Fun. Welcome. I know I'm live on Facebook. I can see I'm live on Facebook. I can see I'm live on Instagram. I can see people have joined. Hi Tracy. Hi Jenny. We're reading from Jenny's book today. Hi Glennie. Good morning. Hi Al. I hope you're all well. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you've had a good week. We've got a heat wave going on here, and I do not do well in the heat. So I'm melting, in the words of the Wicked Witch of the East or West in The Wizard of Oz. I don't know. Either way, it's too damn hot, and I don't like it. And now everyone's going to say, no, you're going to wish for winter, and then I'll be complaining about the snow and the ice and the cold. But anyway, so how is everyone? I hope you're well. I hope you've had a great week. I see lots and lots of comments coming up. So for those of you who have, good morning Shannon, first comment on Facebook. For those of you who have not joined First Chapter Fun, this is the place where Hank Philippi Ryan and I, Hannah Mary McKinnon, I always forget to introduce myself, and I really shouldn't. My name is Hannah Mary McKinnon, and as my fictional partner in crime, Hank Philippi Ryan, I am also a thriller author. And this is the place, First Chapter Fun, where we read the first chapter of a different book twice a week, every Tuesday and every Thursday, the days with a tea with Hannah and Hank, at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And this started back in March as a bit of a distraction for myself and others when I suggested reading the first chapter of a different book to my author friends, thinking that maybe half a dozen or a dozen would agree to this madness of me doing this for them. And wouldn't you know, we had 50 odd people lined up. I read every day until May the 8th, and then joined forces with Hank. And since May the 12th, we've been reading twice a week, and we have reading scheduled well into next year. So if this is the first time you've joined, a couple of things. One, you'll find all of the readings that we've done before on our Facebook, in the Facebook group, First Chapter Fun, in the archive. There's a couple of other videos in there as well. One notably is the audiobook narrator chat that we had with two audiobook narrators. And also on Instagram there, all of the backlog, all of the archive is all uploaded on our IGTV. So you can, because today is episode 70. Episode 70 on July the 7th, which is kind of funny. So you've got 69 episodes, if you haven't watched this before, to go and catch up on. They're all between, I'd say anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes long. And they're all a lot of fun, of course, because it's First Chapter Fun. Second thing, sometimes technology is not my friend, and sometimes either Facebook or Instagram boots me out. So if that happens, if your screen goes dark, it's not you, it's me, or Facebook and Instagram. And what I will do is I will go back to the platform that has not booted me out. I'll go back to the platform that did boot me out, I should say, and start the recording again. But fingers crossed. But if it does go dark, then just, it'll be fine. I'll come back. The woman who walks on Instagram just says Instagram keeps cutting out. I don't know if it's just me. Does anyone else seem to have that trouble? Am I choppy on Instagram? I hope not. All seems clear on my end. So good morning, everyone. So many lots of. Seriously, I can't talk anymore. I was just doing the accounting for my husband's electrical company, so my brain's a bit frazzled from that. I've gone from numbers to words, and apparently I'm not managing the transition very well. But good morning, Leslie. Good morning, Beth and Ali and Susan. Elizabeth says it's hot here in Kentucky today too. Oh, it's so hot here. It's really not. I mean, we've got air conditioning at least, so I can't complain too much. And it'll be winter again soon enough. So before I get to today's book, Jenny Milchman's The Second Mother, I want to tell you about two others. I've got cables flying around. So it says it's fine on Instagram. Great. So two books are publishing today that I wanted to mention to you. Hurry Home by Ros Ney publishes today, and I read from this one on First Chapter Fun. It was one of my first reads, so you'll find it somewhere at the beginning of the archive. March something or other. So this is a great book. Roz is a fellow Brit living in Canada too, and it's an excellent book. And The Last Wife by Karen Hamilton publishes today as well. And this one we will be reading from in a couple of weeks. I think it's on July 28th. And I'm having a chat with Karen today at 2:00 Eastern time. You'll find that on my author page, Hannah Mary McKinnon, all of the details. So happy pub day to both Roz and to Karen. Now, today's book. Let's get to today's book. The Second Mother by Jenny Milchman, or with my German roots I would say Milchman, but apparently that's not how you pronounce it in North America. Jenny Milchman there. I hope you can see that. Yes, you should be able to. Kind of a dark, foreboding cover. And this book publishes next month. It was going to publish, I think today, Jenny. I think Jenny's on Instagram. I've seen her there. I hope you found us on Facebook too. But the pub date, as so many pub dates, was pushed back to August the 18th. So you don't have to wait long. And of course, it's ready for pre-order. It's available for pre-order now. I keep looking at my phone, which is where I'm broadcasting on Instagram, and Facebook is up here. So I must remember just to move my head a little bit because it's high tech here. Not really. So let me tell you about Jenny. She just said I'm on Facebook and Instagram, which reminds me, because Jenny is watching on Facebook and Instagram, you can leave her questions or ask her questions, and she can either respond straight away on Instagram or or on Facebook as well. So ask her about her books, because she's written many of them and won awards. And maybe you want to know if she plots or not, or where she gets her ideas from, or what she's working on next, or whatever it might be. So she's with us right now on Instagram and on Facebook. So let me introduce you to Jenny. Jenny Milchman is an award-winning, critically acclaimed novelist from the Hudson River Valley of New York State. Her debut novel, Cover of Snow, won the Mary Higgins Clark Award, and Ruin Falls, As Night Falls, and Wicked River, all from Sourcebooks Landmark, were all Indie Next picks. How about that? Not only did she win an award for her first one, but all the other ones were Indie Next picks too. Congratulations, Jenny. That is no mean feat. Jenny is Vice President of Author Programming for International Thriller Writers, a member of the Sisters in Crime Speakers Bureau, and the founder and organiser of Take Your Child to a Bookstore Day. So that is Jenny. And we connected just recently, Jenny and I actually, and I just saw she wrote a little note saying that Sister Dear rocks, by the way. Well, thank you very much. But it's all about your books today. And she also says on Instagram, please bring the questions on. So anything you want to ask her, do so now. So this is The Second Mother. I have to tilt it a bit, otherwise you get my ring light and you get the the reflection of my high-tech, not really, setup. So this is The Second Mother by Jenny Milchman. And both of us actually Jenny has set this book in Maine, and my last two were set in Maine as well. So, and upstate New York, which is kind of funny. So let me read you the back cover copy of The Second Mother. And also, as always, this is, of course, with the kind permission of the author, Jenny, and her publisher, Sourcebooks Landmark, who said, yes, we can read this for you. So this is not the synopsis, but the back cover copy, the hook, if you will, for The Second Mother by Jenny Milchman. Opportunity. Teacher needed in one-room schoolhouse on remote island in Maine. Find the freedom in a fresh start. Julie Weathers isn't sure if she's running away or starting over, but moving to a remote island off the coast of Maine feels right for someone with reasons to flee her old life. The sun-washed, sea-stormed speck of land seems welcoming, the lobster plentiful, and the community close and tightly knit. She finds friends in her nearest neighbour and Callum, a man who appears to be using the island for the same thing as she. Escape. But as Julie takes on the challenge of teaching the island's children, she comes to suspect that she may have traded one place shrouded in trouble for another, and she begins to wonder if the greatest danger on Mercy Island is its lost location far out to sea, or the people who live there. Hi Kaylee, two babes and a bookshelf. Wonderful book blogger. Oh, and Jenny says Maine and New York are my two favourite states, though I can be swayed if I'm, say, in Georgia, California, Idaho. I loved Colorado, actually. We went there. That's a different story. So that was the Second Mother. Well, it wasn't actually. It was just the tease of The Second Mother by Jenny Milchman. Yes, I agree. It is a great hook, says JC Rose. So let me now read you. I've got lots and lots of comments on Facebook too. So much fun. It's tricky because normally when Hank reads, I'm watching the comments and responding to comments and stuff, and it's really fun. And I can't do that when I'm reading because otherwise, I'd be interrupted. So let's not do that. Let me read you the first chapter. I'm going to put my glasses on because I'm old and sad and I can't see. I'm not that old and I'm not that sad, but I can't see. So this is The Second Mother by Jenny Milchman. Part 1. Finding Mercy. Chapter 1. Julie Mason found the ad on opportunity.com, the site she frequented the most, in part because of its optimistic name. It seemed the essence of simplicity, clear and unambiguous in meaning. May as well have been called newlife.com, although that might have sounded a little religious. Looking to start all over again? The site's marketing message beckoned. We can help. Julie just lurked, had never taken an actual step forward with any of the opportunities that were posted. So far it was enough to read the listings, imagine other lives. This latest post fit her qualifications, though, and its old-fashioned wording drew her eye, like a classified ad from days of old, all those small, perfect squares lined up in columns above and below a newspaper fold. So many people searching for a second chance, and so many chances on offer. Julie wasn't the only one with something to leave behind. This particular opportunity seemed to come from a world that time forgot, one that had vanished in the crush of modern-day life, which had also crushed Julie. Opportunity. Teacher needed for one-room schoolhouse on remote island in Maine. Certification in grades K to 8 a must. Julie read the post a second time, then a third, before glancing down at the clock in the corner of the screen. Nearly noon. 4 whole hours gone since she'd sat down at the computer. This was how time passed for her these days, not in a fluid, comprehensible stream, or even streaking by, falling star fast. Instead, it was as if time had a beast lapping at its heels, taking great gobbling bites. David wouldn't be home for hours still, and if she was going to give some thought to a real, actual opportunity, then she should eat lunch. That was what normal people who inhabited normal lives, lives where things moved and changed and were accomplished, did around noon. The only problem was that she wasn't hungry, and she didn't think there was likely to be much food in the house anyway. Over the past year, they'd been subsisting on supermarket salads and sandwiches, pizza for a diversion. David had never really gotten the hang of grocery shopping. That had always been Julie's task, along with house cleaning, which explained why the floors were gritty underfoot and the furniture languished beneath an opaque veil of dust, like discards from Miss Havisham's attic. Their finances were probably in tip-top order, however, and the yard looked shipshape, green and blossoming at this height of summer, while never overgrown. Oh, didn't miss a step, David saw to that. Julie pushed the chair back from the desk she and her husband shared, its wheels grinding bits of dirt into the floorboards. David did the aforementioned finances here, and once, a long, long time ago, eons to her mind, Julie had used the laptop to communicate with the parents of her 5th grade students and keep up with work on the school portal. 1 year. As of 5 days ago, it had been exactly a year, which meant that Julie had already lived this date, another July 28th, without Headley. Each day in which her daughter didn't take part was a new ordeal to be gotten through, a fresh cut in Julie's skin. She stood up, legs wobbly from inactivity, or perhaps from the prospect of leaving the house. But maybe if she went out to a place where she could see and smell food, it would trigger her appetite. Her shorts slid down alarmingly on her hips. Julie couldn't recall the last full meal she'd eaten. Nowadays she nibbled, bites here and there, partial plates. She patted her empty pockets, cash and keys. That was the first step. In Weedskill, New York, a town almost as remote as the island Julie had just read about, you didn't have to worry about locking doors. Julie skipped the step of locating her purse. How would she possibly find it in the unkempt clutter of the house? A quick peek in her closet, where her bag usually hung, revealed a tangle of clothes and the teetering stack of her old CD and DVD collection, soundtracks, shows and musicals sequestered away now that she no longer played them for Headley. Julie settled for taking the Ford's extra keyless remote, along with money from David's neat stack of emergency bills. Her husband's punctilious ways kept their lives in order and had probably enabled them to survive this past year. Without heat, you could die during an I knew I was going to stumble on that one, dang it! Without heat, you could die during an Adirondack winter. Every log in David's woodshed lay like a soldier in a bunk, and his barn looked like a Home Depot ad. Carefully maintained equipment and tools, each stray screw and nail stored in a tiny box or tray. David also kept an online calendar, colour-coded for both him and Julie. Only lately had his method started to register on her as smart and utilitarian, but also hollow, devoid of the emotion she craved. The life. newlife.com. Julie gave a hard shake of her head. That wasn't right. She'd go online again as soon as she got back, open the bookmark tab for opportunity.com, that was its name, then reread the post about the one-room schoolhouse. Both activities might take up enough of the day that sleep could be a reasonable next step, aided by some liquid assistance combined with half of one of the pills Dr. Trask had prescribed. Julie was down to 3/4 of a bottle from her last refill and carefully conserving. In Weedskill and the surrounding towns, meds were no longer dispensed with a free hand, but Julie wasn't going to think about what would happen when her supply ran out, how she would ever sleep more than 5 minutes at a stretch again. Trask knew she was still relying on pharmaceuticals. Maybe he'd have mercy. Julie scuffed across the driveway, the heels of her flip-flops flapping loosely. Had even her feet shrunk? Every bit of her diminished now, whittled away? She started the Ford, its wheel feeling alien in her hands, as if the power steering had failed. Every inch of rotation was arduous, effortful. The road, once she backed out of their drive, didn't look familiar. Had it always been this steep and winding? The SUV seemed poised to topple at the start of a hill, fall nose over tail like a kid rolling down a lawn. Julie braked in the middle of the road. One advantage to living on the edge of the wilderness, there was no other car in sight to deliver a beep of protest. She felt around for the gas pedal with her foot and began again to drive. When had she last been out on her own? After, David was always with her, and before it would have been Headley, tiny in age and size, but huge in terms of the space she took up in Julie's life. Since her daughter's birth, Julie hadn't experienced much in the way of aloneness, had even resented that reality, fighting for hard-won fractions of time, like every new mother. Can I just take a shower, finish a cup of tea, or better yet, a nightcap without being interrupted by this sudden, all-consuming presence? The space in the rear of the Ford yawned, as dark and empty as a cave. They mostly took David's car now, on the rare occasions that Julie did go out. She'd scarcely been inside this one in over a year. Oh, God, Headley's car seat was still belted in back there, secured as required by law. So many parents got it wrong, but Julie's closest friend was a cop, yet so unspeakably vacant. Julie hit the brakes so hard the Ford jolted, and her chest struck the steering wheel with which she'd just been doing battle. Only this time there was a car nearby, and it sheared around the SUV with a Doppler's whine of wind and a furious blast of its horn, making Julie throw up one of her hands in a futile, unseen gesture of apology, before driving off in halting spurts and stops. So that was chapter 1 of The Second Mother. You can see that there, yes you can, by Jenny Milchman. So what does Julie do? Well, I guess we know she's going to end up in Maine. But what about her husband? And what happened to her daughter? And what will happen to Julie once she gets to Maine? I don't know. What I do know is that this book, The Second Mother, is going to be delivered to my Kindle on August the 18th at midnight. Ha ha! So that way I will find out, and I can't wait. So we've had lots and lots of, I just closed the iPad, I shouldn't have done that. We had lots and lots of great comments already. We have Kerry who says, can we just meet back here tonight for chapter 2, then tomorrow for chapter 3, etc. And Lisa says, just keep reading now. Oh, that's so funny. Beth says, Jenny, your writing is so descriptive. I feel like I am there. And I agree. Absolutely. We have Tracy who says, whoa, I like it. Lisa, I hate when the chapter ends. I want more. And Susan says, oh, don't stop. Oh, that is so funny. I'm so thrilled. So lovely to see all of these comments. And Robin says it was enticing. Tony says, what a great first chapter. Oh, well, that's a very nice compliment. If Hannah wants a third career, she could read audiobooks. Well, that's very kind of you. I just can't do an American accent yet. I'm working on it, but I'm not going to embarrass myself. So that was The Second Mother by Jenny Milchman. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, tell a friend about First Chapter Fun. Tell all your family, tell all your friends. Get them, I don't know, have a watch party, or just tell everyone, so we can have more people watching and continue to do this for as long as you'll have us, of course. So let me tell you about Thursday's book. This is Thursday, Toward the Light by Bonner Spring. Can you see that? Yes, you can. Just making sure it's close enough on the iPad and on Facebook, and hide behind my iPad for a second. That is Thursday's book at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. So always, every Tuesday and every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. You can count on Hannah and Hank. The days with a T, Tuesdays and Thursdays. We will be here until at least next year, hopefully well into next year, bringing you the first chapter of different books twice a week. I was going to say every day. It's not every day anymore. It hasn't been for a while. It's twice a week, every Tuesday and every Thursday. So I do hope you enjoyed this episode. I do hope you'll join us again on Thursday. So until then, as always, please stay safe, stay kind, and we'll see you on Thursday. Thank you for watching.